Alright, so here's the board for across the United States. It has different colored regions that you can get cards to go to. You can have your start markers at the beginning for each player. You're going to have your resource tokens. You're going to have transfer tickets, more resources, money, these little buildings, these gold tokens where if you turn them over they have different point values on the other side, so it's going to be kind of like a random point mechanic. You're going to have a stack of cards that represent different railroads, cubes and all the different colors of the railroads. You're going to have freight tickets, which show goods that you're trying to collect, and passenger tickets, which shows routes you're trying to complete. And you have all these markers that get placed. You turn them, face down, and you're going to just randomly grab them from face down, and you're going to seed the board with the markers like so until you fill out the entire board. And I'll do part of it just so you can get an idea. Each player will receive 2 freight cards, 2 passenger tickets, 3 coins, 6 of the station markers, and you will receive 4 company railroad corporation tickets. And these are all just drawn randomly from the stacks. And you're going to leave a space here for discarding the different railroad corporations. There's 6 different corporations, and the amount of cards in play is going to be dependent on the number of players. So for example, this player happened to get 3 yellow and 1 blue. They got these 2 freight tickets, this one can earn them 7 points, this one can earn them 4 points, and then they got these 2 destinations. So if they are able to connect Miami to St. Louis and Memphis to Las Vegas, they can earn those points accordingly. And so they're color coded. So St. Louis is in the green color, so you would just go to the green section to find St. Louis. Miami's in the orange section, so you just go to the orange section to find Miami, and so on. So let's say it's this player's turn. So they have the NP and the B&O Railroad. So since there's no cubes on the board, they have to find where those stations are, and they're just randomly determined. So we have the NP in Charleston, and we have the B&O over in St. Louis. So I'm going to either build track for the NP or for the B&O. So since there are no station tokens out there, let's say I'm going to play for the NP. I would discard that into the discard pile. And like I said, there'll be different color stacks for each individual company because these will also serve as stock shares. And I could place a yellow cube, and I could place it in one of 3 spots. I can place it here, here, or here. If I place it here, I can either build a station or collect gold. If I build a station, it's going to cost me $1, and so I'd pay my $1, and then I would take one of my stations and I would put it there, and now I have a choice. I can either take 4 victory points, or I could take 2 victory points and I could take 1 gold token. So again, these are the random gold tokens. They range anywhere from 1 to 3 points. So I have to decide, do I want 4 points, or do I want 2 and then maybe 1 more, maybe 2 more, or maybe 3 more? So that would be the decision that I make. So let's just say I took the 4 points. Then if I was the red player, I would go up to the 4-point spot on the track. Now let's say instead of going here, I chose to go to this spot. All right, here I am going to be able to take a ticket, which means I can take either 1 freight ticket or 1 passenger ticket, and I just randomly take it, and then it's private for me to know. But if I took a freight ticket, it means I'm getting some kind of cargo that I'm trying to get for points. Or if I took the passenger, right? I'm trying to make this connection, and if I can do that, I'm going to get 8 points. Another thing I need to mention is when you lay your cube next to a starting station, you're able to buy stock in that company. So since on my turn, it started off where I played this to the discard pile, and then let's say I put this here. All right, I have 2 actions. I'm going to get to either take a gold or build a station, and take a gold. And I'm able to get a stock certificate. The way the stock certificate part works is it depends on how many shares you have, and this should be publicly. So even though I have these 3 cards, they would be face down and nobody would know what I have. And so since I do not own any MP shares, I can actually just take the one that I discarded for free, and I now have 1 share of the NP. If on a later turn I played another NP card here and then took an action, let's say I extended from the NP here, and I was now connected to the MP, I would get to take another stock action. Now that I have 1 share, to take this MP would cost me $1. So I would have to pay my $1 to the bank, and I would be able to take this share. And now any future MPs I take will cost me $2. So again, each share you buy costs the amount of money, costs the amount of shares you have in that company. So that's why at the beginning, when I had none, I was able to take the MP for free. And then my third option was, after playing the MP card, I could also choose to build here. And when you first build for a company, it has to branch off of their station. You can't put it anywhere on the board, and then all following builds have to be connected to a connecting link back to the home station. So if I built here, then I would be able to take that stock share for free because I don't have any. And then I would be able to pay $1 and build my station here. And I can either, again, take 4 points, or I could take 2 points and get the commodity of an apple. And so if I did that, I'd get 2 points instead of 4, and then I would have this commodity for an apple. And I have a card that says if I can get the commodity apple, it's going to get me 4 points. So at the end of the game, I would be able to turn this over and cash this in for 4 points. Or I could try and get the stone. And then if I had the apple and the stone at the end of the game, I could cash in the apple and the stone for 7 points. Once you collect a ticket or cash in a ticket, you lose those commodities. So I couldn't use this 1 apple to fulfill both contracts. I would need 1 apple for this one and 1 apple and a stone for this one. So I'm going to say that I placed the cube there for my first action. I took the 1 share that I had discarded so that I could lay the cube for free because I didn't have any. I built the station there. I took the commodity and I got 2 points. All right, the next thing you're going to do is then you look at the cards in your hand and you take one of the cards and you put it face up in front of you. So let's say I want to get a second share of the MP. I would place it face up there. Now I have 2 shares of the MP and I have 2 cards left in my hand. So I'm going to now draw 2 cards back into my hand to fill it back up to 4. And I drew these 2 cards. And so that should be the end now of my turn. It'll be the next player's turn. Alright, so let's say it's the next player's turn, and these are the 4 cards that they have in their hand that nobody can see. And we'll just say it's a little farther in the game, so it's their turn now. So they have the Pennsylvania rail line, which started here and has been building south. And they also have the NP, which started here and has started to go north and started to go west. And so they could play either of those cards. So if they were to take the green card, and nobody owns the railroads, you just build whatever you want. What you're trying to do is connect the same color from one location to another. That's where your destination cards are from. So if I wanted to connect Miami to St. Louis, right, maybe I'm the yellow or maybe I'm a player and I'm trying to use the yellow line to do that, if I can get yellow cubes from Miami and I can take it all the way over here to St. Louis with one color, I'm going to collect 5 points at the end of the game. Now, if I do not have one color, I do have these passenger tokens that you can get, and with a passenger token you can get onto another line. So you like go on one route and then you hop onto another route to complete your ticket. Okay, so let's go back. So I have this ticket that I could play to go there, or I have the yellow one. So the yellow I could place here, I could build up to here, or I can continue going west. With the green one, I could continue coming down. I could move it to the east, to the west, or to the north. If I wanted to take the Pennsylvania and go south into Charlotte, or if I wanted to take the NP and go north into Baltimore, since there are already colored tracks of the opposite of not your player color, so for example, if I was using yellow and I wanted to build into Baltimore, since there's a green cube there, I could do it, but it's going to cost me $1 to do that. So I would have to spend $1 to the bank, and then I would put the yellow cube there. And then I would be able to do these actions. I could take a PNR certificate if there are any available, and since I was the yellow, there may not be, but if there were, let's say there was one there like that, then if I don't have any, I could take it for free. If I do have some, then I have to pay the cost of however many I have, as I've said before. And then here I can take 2 coins. Now, if you ever don't want to do a station action, let's say I went here and there was no Pennsylvania Railroad available. If you ever don't want to take a station action, you can just take 1 coin from the bank and put it in your supplies. So if there were no Pennsylvania Railroad stocks available, I could take a coin as my station action and then 2 more coins, and that would have gotten me $3. And if I recall correctly, at the end of the game, every $3 is 1 point. So let's say instead of doing that, instead of going north, I went west. Well, then here I get an additional build, so I could take another yellow cube and I could build off of the yellow track line. I could go up here if I wanted to, or whoops, that's not yellow. Or I could go here. But if you take the build action, the additional build, you do not get the station bonus. So if I placed here, I would get tickets. So I could either take a freight or passenger ticket or $1. And then I could take the extra build action or $1. And if I did the extra build, I could go here or here. But once I lay the cube, that's it. I don't get to do the station actions. Now this one here is essentially, if I was able to take station actions and I played here, I could buy a share of any company I want from here. That's available in the share pool. So I mentioned these transfer tickets again, like at the end of the game, right? If I was trying to connect Miami to St. Louis, and let's just say it looked like this, right? I had, let's say it was like this. That. All right, so let's say it was like this. Miami had these red cubes, and then there were the yellow cubes going into St. Louis. All right, if they're all yellow, then I'm going to get the points on the bottom, 5 points. If they are 2 different colors, if I pay $1 and give up the transfer token, I think it is, hold on. Okay, no, you don't pay $1 because you already paid money for the transfer token. So again, if it was connected from here to there, I would just give up the transfer token if I had bought one, and then I would be able to collect the full victory points. So after you do your whole build phase and collect on your tokens, there is one other thing that I forgot to mention before you, reveal one of the shares from your hand to make it part of your stock portfolio, and that is a purchase phase where you can purchase one of these transfer tokens for $2 if you want, or you could pay $2 to buy any of the commodity tokens that you want. So again, if I was trying to, fulfill this contract and get an apple and a stone or whatever, I could pay $2 this turn to get the apple, and then on a future turn pay another $2 to get the stone, and that would have gotten me 7 victory points at the end of the game. You can pay $3 to place a route cube of any railway company. So again, if I wanted to put this color out there, I could pay the $3 to do that, and then as long as it's connected to link back to its home station, right? So if I wanted to, if I had a yellow cube that I wanted to put out here, and this was the yellow line, so far, and I had a yellow cube that I wanted to place, and I was paying $3, I couldn't just like put it over here because it doesn't connect back to the home station. So you got to follow placement rules. And you can pay $1 to exchange one commodity for another. So if I had, gone here and I built there and I got the station and I was able to take the apple, if I didn't want the apple, I could pay $1 to get rid of it and take like a cattle or something like that. So let's say it's the end of the game and this is like one player's situation, and then this is like another's, and this over here is another's. So what you're going to do is at the end of the game, you're going to see how many cubes are out for a route. So yellow has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes out. Purple has 1, 2, 3. Blue has 1, 2, 3. Green has 1, 2, 3. And we'll say red's not out there. All right, so what you would do then is you'd start with a company, so let's just say the blue company. So since blue has 3 tokens available, that's going to be worth 3 points to whoever has the most shares. So you look down, I go, okay, this player has 1 share, this player has none, and this player has 1. So you have a tie for first. So what would happen is you would share the points. So 3 points would go to this player, and 3 points would go to this player. And in a 3-player game, only 2 positions are paid out, so that would be it. In a 4-player game, the top 3 are paid out, so it'd be first place would get the full amount, second place would get the full amount divided by 2 rounded down, and third place would get the full amount divided by 4 rounded down. If there was a tie for first, then they both would get the first point total, and then the next place would get the third total, so you wouldn't pay out second place. And you do not combine first and second and divide, they both get first. So then we look at green, so 3 points available for green, 1 share here, 3 shares there, no shares there, so this player would get 3 points. This player would get 3 divided by 2 rounded down, so they would get 1 point. Then you look at the yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes. They have 3 shares, 1 share, no share, so this player would get 5 points. This player would get 5 divided by 2 rounded down, so 2 points, and this player would get nothing. And if I was the only player, or this person was the only player with yellow shares, and these people didn't have any, then they wouldn't get second place. You have to own a share to get paid out. So that's how you score the cubes with the certificates. You turn in your commodities. So this would be worth 4 points. This would be worth 7 points. Let's say I had this extra commodity left over that wasn't used. I could sell it back to the market for $1, and then you count up your money. So every $2, I think I said 3 earlier, but every $2 is 1 point. So if I had this here, then that'd be 1, 2 points. And if I had this here, that would be 1 point. and that would just be nothing. Your route bonuses that I've already mentioned, but if you were able to connect it by either one single color or two colors using a transfer ticket, then you would get those points. I don't think I ever mentioned with the stations, if you build a station, so let's say at that beginning I built here, and then on a subsequent turn I built here, by having your station on a tile token, you get 2 of whatever the commodity is. So if on one turn I built here and I took 2, if I took 4 points for that, then great, I get my 4 points. And then if it comes back around to me and I build here, I'm going to get my ticket, and then I'm going to get, instead of 1 gold thing, I would get 2. So then I would just take 2 of these random things, and at the end of the game is when you reveal them. You don't reveal them when you take them. So if it was the end of the game, I would just turn them over to see that. That got me 2 points. So again, so just to go over real quick, you have 4 cards that nobody sees. You're going to play one of those 4 cards to the discard pile. You're going to extend that color's track on the board. Track is everybody's, you don't own it. So you would put down a cube, as long as it connects back to the home station. After you place the cube, you will be able to take the 2 station actions. You can do them in whatever order you want. If there is not a station built, you can build the station. You can either take 4 points or 2 points plus the commodity. If you built next to here, one of these tokens, you can take the discarded commodity or any commodity, or not commodity, but stock that's out there. After you do your token and station actions, then you have the purchase phase, or you can buy resources from here if you want. And then after that, you're going to take out the remaining 3 cards in your hand. You're going to place one of those cards face up as a share of stock in that company. You'll be left with 2 cards. You will draw 2 cards back into your hand, so you have 4 for the next turn, and then it's the next player's turn. So if you like route building games, this is a route building game. The setup will always be different because of the tokens being randomly distributed. But there is, depending on your random, right? The companies you get will be completely random. The freights you get will be completely random. The passenger tickets you get will be completely random. The gold, what you draw, is completely random. So there's a lot of random elements to this, so that's something to consider. But that's pretty much how the game plays. Hope that's a little helpful.